Hi.
Hi, Joni. I'm logging, but I have to run. I have something brewing, cooking actually on the stove, so I'll be back.
No worries. We'll be here. Are you logging off or you're just going to go walk
No,
away?
I'm just keeping. I'm not gonna be present in front of the computer. I'm just leaving it and logged it on, and I'll be back.
Okay. Enjoy.
Okay.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Joni. How you doing?
Good. You got a flower growing out of your head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll take it off.
So you're going to want to share your screen for a little bit tonight?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
share my screen. I actually have a question. While I'm sharing my screen, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Maybe you can be thinking about it. When I go to import a photo or photos, when I go to the destination where I want it to go,
Yeah.
it doesn't give me a list down the right-hand side. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I have to go click on the top part and bring it up manually, like in the gray section, there's not all the files and stuff. I mean, it's just a little inconvenience. It's not a big deal. But what is weird is that there's a bunch of folders on the right-hand side that are in my on my external hard drive in my photos, but they're not in Lightroom, in the left-hand panel of the Lightroom.
So
What I mean?
I would think that, well, to answer the first thing first, depending on if you're bringing images in an import from a folder on your hard drive or an SD card, the options are different.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you're adding them or moving them, the options are different. It's not like when I import from an SD card, I don't even have add or move. I can only copy. But when
Yep,
you do
me
it,
too.
but when you do it, if for some reason I thought that you imported your images, I thought you uploaded your images to a file in your computer and then import. Oh, you
No.
import from an SD card
Yeah,
or some kind of memory card,
yeah.
because they do act differently. But when you go from a card, you can't even do add or move. So
No,
that's
I
interesting.
never do add or move. I
You
always
copy.
do copy, just
Right.
because I'm nervous about,
Oh yeah, no, you
doing
should.
something
I agree.
and then, yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. So that's interesting. I'd have to, do you have anything that you can import? Any new images you haven't imported yet?
No,
Okay.
but I could probably just import a couple from my desktop that are probably already in there, but
Yeah, but it won't give you the expected result because
okay.
it has to be on a card.
Yeah,
If you're
okay,
always importing from a card, I can't see what the differences are.
yeah,
Like I said, that
Okay.
difference is only if you import from your computer. And actually, I know a lot of people do. I was going to do a quick import tonight from a folder because I know
okay.
some people do it that way.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not a big deal. I can work around it because,
Yeah, you figure
I
it
can
out, but you
just
want to
pick
know
the-
why it's inconsistent.
yeah. But
Hi, Andrea.
that
I don't
other
think
one with
she's-
no, she's muted. But the other
Yeah.
thing with the folders
ladies.
that are not on my Lightroom
Hi.
panel,
Right.
I don't know why, because they're supposed to be mirrored
Hi,
from
Dick.
my hard drive to the Lightroom.
And
aren't
these
they?
are, yeah, so, and the hard drives that are in the destination folder but aren't in the source folder when you import are drives that actually have images on them that are already in your catalog.
Oh, it's not drives, it's folders. Like I'll
Oh.
have, there are, date folders, like year folders that are on my external hard drive. And I hesitate to do anything with them because I don't want them. I want the pictures in my regular folders. So I don't know whether I should just,
At some
I don't
point,
know
you
how
and
to
I,
deal
you should,
with it.
you know what, maybe next week we'll do the half hour early. I will open up and you can share your screen
Okay.
and show me what you're talking about.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because it's because
Okay.
because I'm so stuck in my own system with it, I can't visualize your system without seeing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it makes plenty of sense. Okay.
Oh, it's so funny, Frank, that I don't have to let you in. All of a sudden, Frank's in. I didn't admit him because we're both using the club account. That's why. I think Mary's trying. Hey, Frank. I think Mary's trying
Hi,
to
Frank.
connect. I don't think she's connected yet, though. We can only see half your face, dude.
Reorganizing my
Oh,
office.
that's
My camera
better.
was not properly adjusted.
There you go. You got a night off tomorrow night.
Yeah, we do. Oh, I meant to send a message out to the club about that. I'll do that later tonight.
Right.
Just to
I
remind.
keep forgetting.
Although
Yeah,
I
Greg-
did send them a PDF of the schedule 2 days
Right.
ago, so they would see.
I know, I
it
saw that.
coming. But anyway, I'll send out a note tonight. I should probably remind them to take the pictures down from Framingham also on Wednesday.
I assume Tina was gonna
Yeah.
do
she
that,
probably
and we could do
said
that
something.
anytime that day, I think,
Yeah, I
right?
think
It wasn't
anytime the
just
library's
after,
open, I think you just go in and take them off the wall.
right?
And I hope everybody remembers to take their name tags off too. When I went to the Natick, went kind of toward the end of the day, about 6 o'clock, and there were a lot of pictures were missing with name tags still stuck to the wall.
Oh, wow.
So
Well,
I went around.
Is
and
that
just
the
peeled
first
all the
time
name
that
tags off.
we've done them to the wall versus to the picture? Because it used to be they would be taped to the picture.
Yeah, we used to do it to the picture, but then with these new with these removable tag
Hi, Leo.
adhesives, the poster tag things, they don't leave any marks on the wall. And so we started that at I think at the Sudbury show
I've never
last year.
submitted anything. Yeah, I've never submitted anything
Yeah.
to Sudbury.
And then so then we did it at Natick and at Framingham this year. So it seems to work out pretty well. And I think it looks nicer having it on the wall next to the image rather than on the image. Personal thought. Anyway.
All right, well, it's a little bit after 7. If people jump in, well, either you or I can let them in.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Alan shows up.
Let me open my participants
I'm
file
hoping
here.
Alan shows up because he was gonna share. Last week, we got into discussing how to organize the files, which is really tonight's topic, but we kind of, we had time, so we started it a little bit. And I certainly have more to say about it, but Alan had said how he doesn't actually worry about the dates and add the date in his folder system because it's embedded in the file. And I think it's the way he imports. So I wanted him to kind of go over that a little bit tonight. So hopefully he'll jump in and share his screen. And let's see, I want this.
Joni, I do it the same way that Alan does because Alan set it up for me.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, directly from the card. It goes right into Lightroom and it's all dumped in by date. And then if you're smart enough, and I'm not, you keyword everything so you can find stuff. It's more complicated than that, but he made it easy for me. Thank you so much, Alan.
Yeah, he's not here yet. Who's MELPE?
I do not know. Shall I admit them?
I'm gonna admit them. We'll see who it is if we can visually. They show their face. And I'm actually gonna kick off this a little bit with a little bit more on. Oh, it's Marion Kelly, I think. She must have changed her name. When we were talking about importing last week, some people do it in different ways. I do it directly from the card reader. but some people import, well, they upload their images from their card reader into a folder and then import from the folder. The theory being that you know exactly where the pictures are because you physically put them there. As we saw last week when I import pictures, this is the import screen. And if my card reader is here, it would show up. And then in my, I'm going to ask everybody to turn their video and audio off too, please, because I don't know if that'll slow us down a little bit. I know my folder system, and so my folder system is right here, and I know it, so I don't have a problem doing it this way. But I just want to show you a couple of differences. I don't have a card reader in right now. Let's say I go to 2022 and I've already put these in. I'm going to try to find something that has not a lot of pictures in it that I can think of. That has a lot. This doesn't have a lot. So, oh, it does. That's way more than I thought. Never mind. I won't do that one. How about this one? Was 13 photos. That's fine. When we import here, when you import from a card reader, you can only copy as DNG or copy. But when you import from a folder on your computer, which may be because that's where you upload them from your camera, or it may be that you're creating a new catalog, or you've just started Lightroom and your pictures are already in a folder system. So you want to add them. I don't want to move them. I want to add them to this catalog. And so you get different windows here. What's going to happen is you don't have that destination folder because it's going to add them to this catalog, but not move them on your hard drive. If you want to move them, you could move them, and then you get the destination folder. And I might take these 2022, what are they? The MIT in progress. And I could move them to MIT, the base folder. But typically you don't want to do that. You want to add them. And that way they stay exactly where you uploaded them to begin with. So if I take these photos and the file handling, I'm actually going to make this quicker. I'm just going to do embedded in sidecar and apply to import. I'm still going to do this. And I think this is my 2022. And keyword, I would just do MIT Cambridge here because this is where it was. Oops, if I can spell Cambridge right. And then import. And this should go pretty quick. It does. Because I didn't make previews really. I just did embedded sidecars. So that's just another way to import if you don't like using your SD card. Okay. Let's see. And we talked about, I think people know that I use an organizational system. Each hard drive has the years of the folders on it. And then within the hard drive, I make the years. And in this year, I actually don't have, I didn't have a 2000. I don't, normally I would have 2022 as a base folder, and I can add that here, but I'm not going to take the time to do it now. And then within my folder system, I do the shoots. And this is what I imported last week, I believe. And I have more I could have added to this, but I didn't. And I'm debating on whether I want to do the import from the card just to have a little bit more organizational information. I think I will. I'm putting my card reader in now. These are more flower cube pictures that I took. And flowers, and I'm copying them. I want this preset. And I'm going to put them in the same folder. Right here. And put them in progress. And because I have 15 in there, I actually want to start these with number 16. And we know my standard preset is the year, the month, and the names, and I have to put the name in myself. So I'm going to put in, was it ice? I remember them now. The name of was it Ice Cube Flowers? And I'm could do that. I'm just double checking all my things. Perfect. And I'm going, and that shouldn't take too long. And I'm only doing this because I wanted to go through enough to sort and show you how I go through the sorting process once they're in. Because we talked a lot about the folder system last week, but there was a lot more to organization that I wanted to discuss. Any questions while we're just waiting for this? It shouldn't take too long. Okay,
Well,
looks like
can
they're
you
done. That
do you have
status
to-
line is over.
Do
Go
you
ahead.
have to make the folder in Lightroom? Because before I bring in mine, I make a folder with the name on it in the hard drive, and then I just export them to the hard drive. Do you get what I mean?
Yes and no. So when I import them, I would typically, if
I
I
wasn't-
needed to make a new folder, I would make it in my 2023 folder right here.
Oh, that's
Do you see
confusing.
that? That's why there's two different ways to do it. I'm used to this. Let's see. Let's say I had another shoot. Let's say it was a baby shower. Let's say I would create the name of the folder on my hard drive in 2023, and I would call it 2023 underscore. Sorry, can't type and talk at the same time. 01 Caitlin's baby shower.
Okay.
So I would make my folder here,
On the hard drive.
but it is making it on the hard drive.
Okay.
It's making it on my hard drive that's titled 2022 to 2023.
But are you making that within Lightroom, or do you do it in the hard drive before you start Lightroom?
I do it on import in Lightroom.
Okay, because I
So I
didn't
have
know
the,
that for me.
so I hit the import button. We assume I have a hard, I would have the card here. These are all, I just imported these, so these won't import unless I unclick suspected duplicates. But if these were all fresh photos, I would click on the folder that I wanted to make the new folder in. I would right click on it and I would create new folder. And now this is my finder. This is a picture of what's going on in my hard drive. I already chose the 2023 and the 2022, 2023 hard drive, which should be on the left here, and I don't know why it's not. And within that, I chose folder 2023, and then within that, I would add whatever I was gonna do, right?
And that shows up in my pictures then, does it?
If that's how you have organized yours, it could be. That's the default for Lightroom. But the pictures folder is on your internal hard drive, right? So all your photos are going into the internal hard drive.
Yeah.
These are all external hard drives that are
Oh.
plugged into my computer. There's
Okay.
too many pictures for me to put on an internal hard drive.
Okay, I always save them in JPEG, that's why.
And that's another thing, I do shoot raw. So I will create that
understand.
now, okay, and choose that. And I'm not importing anything. I'll cancel that because I don't have anything to import, but I'll show you on my hard drive. So on the right-hand side of the screen here and the 2023, here's the external hard drive that's 2023. Here's the 2023 folder, and here's the baby shower folder that I just made.
Actually creating a new folder before importing is just an unnecessary extra step. If you import from a card directly to Lightroom, it does everything for you, including creating the folder wherever you and whenever you want it, and it's much easier.
That's
And you will
how,
find the same folder in from your Windows Explorer or Finder, whatever you have it.
exactly, and that makes sense to me.
But how do you get that folder onto your external hard drive? Does it
I,
just?
I plug it in. I plug it in. This
Yeah.
folder I plugged in. I have a bank of USB. It holds like 8 or 9 USB cords. So each one of these are plugged into a USB in my bank, and that USB bank is plugged into my computer. So I can put actually 4 more drives in there if I wanted to. Does that make sense? So these are all,
Not sure.
they're
I
all,
probably
Seagate is a brand name, but they're all, well, I think I mostly 4 terabyte hard drives. This one is not the hard drive. This is the card that I just uploaded pictures from. But there's my backup from my computer time machine. These are the folders by year. This backs up, and we'll get to this at the end of the night. I back up my Lightroom catalog onto a separate hard drive. So these are the backups. We have, looks like 4 times I've backed up this week. I keep my, so you're probably importing and backing up all on your internal hard drive, which is the Lightroom default. I've changed that in my preferences. I don't want my Lightroom backups on the internal hard drive, because if the internal hard drive goes, then I don't have my backups to Lightroom. This way, they're protected a little bit more. They're not likely that this external hard drive and my internal hard drive are going to die at the same time. And I have had my Lightroom catalog become corrupt, and I have had to use this backup once. It's only happened once. And I actually had an internal hard drive die once, but because I had Time Machine, they were able to recover everything. And that's backed up every day.
But if the
So-
backup is made in the internal hard drive, where is it stored? Because I don't see it on my pictures. I didn't
It
know.
should be in your Lightroom folder. Are you Mac or PC?
PC.
So it's a
It's
similar
within-
folder system in that it's a
Oh,
tiered
okay.
system, right?
So it's in the Lightroom catalog thing. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, for me, my hard drive is the Macintosh hard drive. And if, for me, it goes into systems, Joni Rich, pictures are right here. So
yeah.
there's some old stuff in there, and then backups are right here. These are my Photoshop backups. That's just old stuff. It's just, that's me not doing my housekeeping, but that's where they are. Or if I did it in the folder system, users, Joni Rich,
Because I was
pictures. Here's my Lightroom library. Here's Lightroom right here. This is old catalogs, and there's backups. So they're on, those are all internal hard drives. I got them right from here.
Because I would find it easier to just export onto the hard drive, and then if I want to put them on an external drive, just drop them into that.
That's
rather
fine.
than trying to do it all through Lightroom.
That's fine.
I would get confused with it all in
That,
Lightroom.
and that's the big takeaway, Marianne. If that's what works for you, don't change it.
Yeah, because I couldn't, I'll get all confused, I think.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why I was
that-
getting confused with collections and everything. I think I won't do collections. I just right away say I go to Southwick Zoo. Before I put anything on, I go into my pictures and I make a new folder, call it Southwick Zoo 2023 or whatever. I have a few different Southwick Zoo's folders. Then I know where to go from whatever. So when I import here, I usually export in JPEG, and I just put it into that folder.
right.
You browse and I put it into that folder. So I know then where all my pictures are when I have the names on my hard drive.
Great.
Mm.
All right, I got my
They're dying here. I gotta take them out and charge them. All right, so I'm going to carry on. So as we've talked about this before. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I gotta turn you guys up
Yes.
so I can't hear you very well. There we go. All right. I go by a date system and a name of the shoot system. So that we've talked about that. I don't have to go over that too much. All of my, okay. So once they're imported, so these should be all of these. Usually all of mine come into an in progress folder. So I right clicked and I checked them all by Command A or Control A. I selected them all. I'm going to grab all these pictures from the middle of one of the pictures, and they're all going to move. I'm going to take all of these and move them into the in progress box, I think. Excuse me, this one, that's right. I want them all to go here, 15 pictures. So just like that, Lightroom moved all those pictures from the base folder into an in progress. I also, from the base folder, I'm going to make another folder called Outtakes. So I'm going to right click on the base folder. I'm going to create a folder inside of this folder. I'm going to call it Outtakes and create. And there are other folders I might create. Let's say I was on a shoot, and while I'm out shooting in the city, I shoot a bunch of textures or I shoot a bunch of skies. I would right click, create a folder, and just put the textures in there or the skies in there. I don't have any in this one, so I don't have to, but that's what I would do. And then I think in this one, I do have, there are times when if I do some HDRs or focus stacking or panoramas, that several pictures are going to be combined into one. I'm going to put those into support files. And I'm going to create a folder called support. And let's see, I don't have any in this one, I don't think, although I did do some focus stacking with some of these flowers. So let's see, and I did them in sets of 3. So I would take, let's say I had, I don't think they're these 3. I think to be safe, I'm going to do the last 3. These 3, I'm going to click on them and hit Shift and choose these 3. And in these 3 folders, I grab them put my cursor in the middle of the picture and move these 3 over into support folders. And in these support folders, I'm going to select them all again. I'm actually going to add a red mark to them. How come? There we go.
Where did you get it? Up here?
Hold on one second. Hold on. I just want to do. Here we go. On the bottom toolbar, or you can just hit 6 and code them red.
Okay. Okay.
So now I added a red bar around these. The red bar signifies, this is my system. You can choose whatever system you want. These pictures are supposed to be combined in some way, HDR, focus stacking, panorama, something like that. And when I've edited these pictures, and I'm done with them, then I'll put them in my final images, but we're getting a step ahead. But that's how I would when I do my import, I look through all the pictures and I look first for the ones that I know I'm going to use in a series of some sort. And I put them in the support folders because I'm going to deal with those later. The next step I do is, so I've got, these are almost all of them in the shoot except those last 3. And I'm going to go one by one and I'm going to decide which ones do I like to edit? Well, I don't like this one. So I'm not going to pick this one. I'm going to do U. When I hit the U or the P, the U is for unpick and the P is for pick. I have auto advance turned on. I'm going to hit U again. I didn't pick that picture, but I kind of might like this one. So I'm going to pick this one. It's auto advancing. That's too similar. I don't need that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's pick that one. We'll pick that one. We'll pick that one. That's too similar. pick that one. I'm not going to pick this one, but I'm just going through all my pictures and either picking or unpicking. I'll pick this one. It's so similar. Pick that one. And you're going to see how this turns out at the end. Ooh, those are blurry. I remember taking those. Those are outtakes. Okay. And sometimes I don't know which one is better than the other, so I might keep a couple that are similar in this process, and then I'm going to weed them out later. So, and you'll see in a second how I'm going to filter through these. I changed one of the names of my drives. Backblaze is mad at me. Okay, so that's all the images in this thing. So now I went through and I've decided which ones I think I want to edit and which ones I don't really care about. And the ones that I don't really care about, I'm going to put in the outtakes folder. So now I'm going to filter all of these, and I'm going to do the ones that are not rated, that are not filtered. No, that didn't work either. Okay, I'm going to do the ones that are flagged. These are the ones I saved. So I'm going to choose all of these, and I can do it in the grid if you want. I'm going to choose all of these, and I'm going to move them back into my base folder because those are the ones I say I want to edit. The rest of these in the in progress, I'm going to unflag them. And now all the images that are not flagged return. And all of these, I'm going to Command A. And I'm going to move these into outtakes because these, for the most part, I don't care about these. If I ever want to get back to them, they're here. And maybe in a few weeks, I decide I'm never going to use this picture. I don't really need it. I'm not going to delete it forever, but I can then right-click on outtakes and remove them from this catalog. They will stay on my hard drive. I'm not deleting them, but I am removing them from this catalog. Now I'll take the pictures that are in the base folder and I'll move those back into in progress. My next step would then be to go in and look at each one of these more carefully and start the editing process. And once I've chosen one that I'm very happy with the picture and I'm done with it and I know I'm happy with it, I give it a star rating of 5. Now that just auto advanced, so I'll go back, but you can see on the toolbar, this was originally, I picked this photo to edit. I finished editing it. I gave it a 5. I know that's done. And how at the end of my editing process, whichever ones I'm done with and have a 5 or any number rated, I filter it by rated. So the filter is down here. Unrated shows all of them. If I choose flagged, they're all flagged. So all 17 photos show up in the film strip or show up in the grid. And the ones that are rated, it's just one of them is rated and one of them is done. In this case, I would take this and move it into my base folder. So at any given time, I know where my finished photos are. They're right here. Let's see, I think I did it in here. Can't remember if I did it or not. So my New York City photos, those are 26 finished photos. There's 9 of them here that I may want to go back and look at and do something with. I don't love them, but I don't want to give them outtakes. And then these are all the outtakes. And at this point, I could take these outtakes, because this has been, a long time since I did this shoot. I can remove, excuse me, I want to select all of them, Command or Control A, and I will right click and I will remove these photos from this catalog. And it'll tell you, you're moving these photos, you're removing this folder. So you have an option if you make a mistake. And now that keeps my catalog a little bit lighter and running a little bit more efficiently. Any questions on that? I went kind of quickly.
Joni, just to summarize, so when you import initially, you import into that base folder, the one that says 2023_01 flour ice cubes.
Yeah,
And
I
then you make-
typically don't. I typically
Oh.
make the in progress right at the same time, and I just didn't last week. I think I didn't want to make it too complicated.
Okay, so your first step is you import everything into your in progress folder within that shoot folder.
I can't show you now because yes, when I
Okay.
would right click on the destination in 2023 and create new folder, and I'd go to the 23 and I'd say new folder, and I do 2023-01 flour ice cubes, and then in that folder I would, on the bottom window, I would create another folder in there called in progress.
Okay,
I
and so
would
that
run them
imports
all into
into
the
the
in progress.
catalog in the in progress folder, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So when you do that import, the catalog knows the location as
Yes.
being the in progress folder. Now, when you
Yes.
move stuff from in progress to outtakes, does the catalog get updated that they're now in outtakes?
Yeah, the catalog gets updated and the hard drive gets updated.
Oh, okay, so
here's the
it's doing both, okay.
2023 hard drive, 2023
Yeah.
ice flour cubes. And here's my outtake. So, and
Yeah.
the one I just did, I mean, these outtakes is, I didn't do any.
When you move it from in progress to outtakes,
Yeah.
it updates both catalog and the hard drive simultaneously.
Right.
And then when you
and this
remove it
other
from the
one,
catalog,
this
when you
other one that I just did, right? Let's go back to the New York City one that I did. Hold on, it's going to take a second to load up all these folders. Was it a 20? What year was it? I thought it was 2021. 2021-05, yeah.
so regardless of
Here it
where
is.
you,
So here's the New York City. These are the outtakes that I just
Yeah.
moved. So I
Right.
took them out of Lightroom, but all those images are still in, they'll show up in a second. All those images are still in this
Right.
outtakes folder on my hard drive. If I need to re-import something for
just
whatever
re-import
reason,
it.
I can always re-import it.
Okay, so regardless of where you move, once you've imported them into a folder, regardless of where you may move them within Lightroom after that, the catalog gets updated as well as the hard drive.
When we do it in Lightroom, we're updating the catalog and it will do it on the hard drive as well.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was curious about. I mean, I figured it was moving around on the hard drive. I just wanted to make sure it was also updating the catalog at the same time. And then when you remove it,
It's actually the other way
catalog
around. We're doing it in the catalog and Lightroom is updating your hard drive.
Oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, so here's New York City. Here's my outtakes. And I can import them all. I can add them back to this catalog. And now we don't have that destination folder over here because we're adding them.
Right.
And I import them back in. That might take a little longer because I think they have previews. I'm not sure how long that will take, but you get the idea.
And then removing them from the catalog is just removing them from the catalog, not deleting from the hard drive.
Correct. There is an option. I believe you can delete them from the hard drive though.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
From here.
Paul, that's the whole idea of doing everything within the Lightroom, because Lightroom will, if you move from a file to a file, catalog will do it on a hard disk. You don't have to look. If you do it outside of the Lightroom, you are in trouble because you have to look for those drives from within the Lightroom.
Oh yeah, we can do that too. We can mess it up.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, exactly. We all are, but that's how you learned.
Right.
So let's say, I don't have any pictures in baby shower. Let's just do a duck of Falmouth. Oh, wasn't there a lot of pictures in here? I'll just do one. I'm going to take this, I'm going to move, I'm in my hard drive now. I'm going to put it in that baby folder, baby shower folder, just so I know where I put it. But that's the problem. You know, when you mess up, that's the biggest thing. You don't always know how you messed up.
Right.
Hold on, I have a text from Erin. I want to see. She wants the passcode. I don't know what the passcode is. Hold on.
They send it to you in an email when you register.
Yeah, but she's having trouble.
Well, it was.
I have it. It's 651438.
Oh, she's didn't. Okay, hold on a second. No, she's. All right, Mark, can you say that number again, please?
651438.
Okay, thanks. Hopefully she'll
All
figure that.
she has to do is click on the thing and it'll open.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna do the path of least resistance and just give her the correct passcode. Where were we? Oh, I moved something. I moved a picture from the flower ice cubes in progress. No, it was the birds, right? Oh, I don't even have those birds here anymore. I haven't put them in here. Never mind. That I didn't think I had.
You moved one photo from Ducks of Falmouth.
Yeah, but I don't
into-
have the Ducks of Falmouth in that catalog. So
Oh.
before I forget, I'm gonna move it back because I do have it in my other catalog. So we'll do a flower. We'll do, let's say I take the whole folder of in progress and I put it in the baby shower by mistake or anywhere else by mistake. Now when I go here, do you see the question mark next to the folder and in progress? And you see how there's an exclamation point on the actual images? That means Lightroom doesn't know what you did with them. You either changed the name of them or you moved them or you did something that Lightroom isn't recognizing. And if you want to find them, hopefully you know where they are. You have to right click here, find missing folder. And there it is right there. Baby shower in progress. It recognized those. So I'm going to choose it. And now, oh good, I moved them into baby shower in progress. I don't want them there, do I? So I'm going to Command A and I'm going to move them into, well, they're in the in progress. That's not what the in progress folder. I want to move that into flower ice cube. So I'm clicking on it. I'm pulling it down into flower ice cubes and I put it right back where I wanted it. And now this baby shower, I can remove this folder because I don't need that. I don't have any pictures named baby shower. Questions on this?
Yes, the constructs of in progress, outtakes, and support. These are Lightroom constructs, right?
No.
They're
You
your
have-
constructs.
Yeah, if you came a little late,
I couldn't get in.
Oh, I'm sorry. So there's another, I went over import a little bit more. When I import, I typically, and I didn't do this last week on the flowers, I typically will create the in my destination panel on the import side. I will create, and you know what I can do is, let me put my card in and I'll turn off, don't do suspected duplicates. And I won't make an actual import, but I'll show you. So here I'm importing from a card. I'm going to uncheck don't import. So these will import if I want them to. I bring the card in. I'm copying my images from the card. And there's the destination folders. So when I create a destination folder, when I decide where I want it to go, typically it's the year I'm shooting in. And I'll create a new folder and it's in my 2023 that now I'm pointing Lightroom to my hard drive. I'm going to create a new folder, 2023 flowers, let's say, and I'll create it. And then in that folder, I'll create in progress. And now I hit choose. Now you can see in my structure of 2023 flowers, and I can choose all the other things here. I can use a preset and I would then import, which I'm not going to do obviously, but then I would import and they would come in all here. so I'd have, well, whatever, 100 and something pictures or whatever, 79 pictures, whatever the pictures are. Then I also create, I right click on the base folder, I right click, I create a folder inside and I name it outtakes. And then if I have photos that I use for, let's say, HDR or panoramas or focus stacking that I know I'm going to do some kind of combined picture with them, I put them in a support file and I tag them red. On the bottom of the library grid, you've got, it tells you what the filters are. I don't know why this isn't red here. This should be popping up. Oh, there it is. It's red. It's outlined here.
By the way, I did see you do this. I
Okay,
got it
all right,
just
okay,
before that.
so that, so that, so
But the
you're caught up.
UNP, when you did unpick and pick,
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly what unpick and pick were doing physically.
They were putting a little flag on each image. See, can you see this flag? And in the toolbar down here, there's a flag. My outtakes don't have that flag. I'm flagging them. Other ways that you can rate and sort them are by stars and by colors. Those are the big three ways. You can set a flag. And these are, if you ever forget, under the photo menu and set flag, if you hover over, these are the keyboard shortcuts for them right here. You can actually X and reject them too. If you want to set a rating, the keyboard shortcuts are just 0 for none, 1 star is 1 number, up to 5 stars is the number 5. So the keyboard shortcut is just a number. If you want to set a color label, they start with 6 through 9. I don't know why purple doesn't have a keyboard shortcut. I don't know. I guess you can't, they don't have, because 0 is none. There's no other numbers. You actually have to, I think you would have to go in here and add, where would you add? Oh, you'd probably have to go up here into photo and add color and do purple. And now that's a purple. I never use purple. I never use that many colors, and I'm going to take it off. There we go. Well, so there's keyboard shortcuts, but if you forget them, you can look them up. Mostly I only use red, so I just do 6. And I only, for my numbers, I only use 5. It's either done or it's not done. And that way, if I'm, you know, if I'm here, if I'm here and I have like a 5 here and a 5 here and a 5 here, because I've done those, I'll click and filter all of them that are in my in progress folder. I'll filter them by what are rated. Okay, these are my finished pictures. So now I'm going to take those 3 finished pictures and I'm going to move them into my base folder. So there they are. Well, that was a big sigh.
Sorry.
Talk to me. No?
One comment from last week, where I was away for, and I did watch the recording. When I was listening to you talk about the way you organized, it didn't make a lot of sense to me until Alan spoke and said that, gee, he sorts by date and he puts any other information in the keywords. I'm thinking, that's what I would be doing. So
That's just different minds think differently.
Yes. Well, and then of course the reason he gave, he had a lot of pictures that that exist from long before Lightroom.
Yes. So that's the snowy day activity, right? Go in. I know Beth has a different way of, I think you're a different way of organizing, right, Beth?
Yes.
Did you want to share your screen now and show the way you work? Because again, my way isn't the only way. The only thing I say is
Joni,
what?
I might, after tonight, I may incorporate my way and your way, because you are so much more organized than I am. And I can't even tell you how many times I've screwed up and started my catalog all over again from scratch.
I've done it 3 times. This is not my
Oh,
first
I-
rodeo.
Yeah, well, this is like my 5th or 6th.
Alan will
but
tell you,
I-
because Alan sat with me for a half a day trying to figure out what the hell I did, like what, maybe 6 years ago, Alan? He
Yeah,
knows
it,
how
it
screwed
goes
up
back
I-
that far, I think.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Alan,
So,
did you want to
yes.
share your screen? I'll get out of stop share.
So I've been really busy and
Okay.
I apologize.
That's okay.
But the reason I've been doing it the way I did it, which is bring them all in by date, is
Well,
because
yeah.
this is something I've been doing since 1975.
And you
And,
probably didn't have a choice.
well, no, I did when I went to digital. But I figured that my whole system had been being recorded by the day I shot it, and then I would just organize the same way. So that's what I did when I went into Lightroom. I started at Lightroom 1, by the way.
Yeah.
And let me just also make a point that there are probably 200 to 500 expert people out there, and I don't think any one of them are doing it the same way.
Right.
So, it really depends on how your methodology is. Some people import from the hard drive. I import directly from the card. I let the camera do all of the cycling through the information that's given from the camera. And then
You know what?
I-
I'm going to interrupt you for a second, Alan, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my card back in and I'm going to have you walk me through your steps. How's that? So I put a card in, and here's my photos. I'm going to the only thing I'm going to do different is I'm going to uncheck so that they're not ghosted out. So I put my card in, here's my card, here's all the pictures on the card. What's the next step that you do?
So I just go over to my the right hand side.
Yep.
And then I start going. So what Lightroom does really well is go back to the last place you put things. So that's why when you change a lot of stuff around, it becomes kind of confusing. So what I do is I leave it the same, and what I do is I go down and make sure it's all correct. So I start off in file handling, make sure that information is correct. I go down to file renaming.
Okay, can I just stop? So what do you do in file handling? I'm gonna just do this because it's the quickest. But file name, how do you do your naming?
So just I leave that unchecked.
You leave that unchecked.
Okay.
Period.
And
Okay.
so, yes. And then during the import, I'm making sure that I leave that blank, by the way. Sometimes I fill it in, but most of the time I leave that one blank. And then let me make sure I'm in the right spot, because okay, the metadata, that's the metadata that has all my information in it with name. So I have a pre-made
Right,
one that says Alan 2023 now.
right.
And then what I would do is I would put tabletop flowers just by looking at what you have there. And then I might put a comma, I might put desktop, and then I might put yellow and a particular comma.
Well, they're not all yellow, so you want to do
Oh,
only
okay.
the things that apply to
I'm
everything.
only looking at, okay, never mind, just leave the yellow off.
Yeah,
A
a lot of them are the frozen flowers, but not all of them.
Okay.
All right, so
And-
you do your keyword now.
And then I go to the destination and make sure the destination is exactly where I wanted it.
Now, so you might have to create a folder here.
No, because I put it right into so I created a folder before 2023 called 2023 on my
Right,
hard drive. So
right here,
it's already existed.
right, there's my
Let me
223.
let me go back up to the top in file handling. I do have a backup that I use,
Yeah. Maybe
and
send a
I
copy
have
too.
I have a backup destination for 2023.
Right,
So it's on a separate hard drive other than where I'm importing the information to. So it's actually in two different spots.
right.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
No, that's okay. I
And-
don't do it that way because I do one
Right,
hard drive and
like I said,
backwards.
there are 500
Yeah,
really good, and they all do them differently. And then
Alright, so-
basically, after all the information is correct, I just go and import.
so wait a second, let's just back up. So you have the 2023 folder right here on your
Correct.
hard drive.
And I don't do
And then-
anything else.
You don't have into subfolders.
Well, that's going to automatically go into the subfolder because the
And-
main folder, it's
Are
going
you
to
doing
create
it by date? Is that how you do
yes,
it?
by date.
So
it's-
now you can see, this is how they come in.
And
I'm
so
just going up to
that's the
keep-
information that, so all that, when you typed all that stuff and made sure that you had the right file name and all that
Yep.
information.
Yep.
I just let the computer bring in the information without playing with it. And then what I do is once it's imported, you can go over to the left-hand side, find that folder that you just imported.
Yep.
And then you can actually just put another name on it and call it Framingham Flowers
Right.
or flowers from desktop flowers.
So you still have this 2023 folder.
And that doesn't
now I do
change
it.
because it's 2023 plus the date.
Right. And that,
So
so when you rename this folder,
I'm just adding to the back of it. So all of my
so you've got the
files,
same name, the same date, and then you
and I put a
add,
dash in it, and then maybe let's just call this a flower folder.
yeah, right.
And now when you save it, it automatically enters the flower on the rear end of your well, it should have.
I know it was I don't know why. I'm just going to do a space flower.
Okay. So now you have you didn't touch anything in any of the file names, and so when you open it up,
Yeah.
so you look at all 59 of them,
Yeah, but here's the actual file name of that particular,
and that file name is from the camera.
right.
So
That's
I'm
how
not
I set
changing-
it up. So I know I shot this on my Z6 too. I don't know that just,
So I'm not changing any of that. I'm because when you go changing, I figured the way I figuring it, and everybody, like I said, everybody does it different. The way I figure it is that I'm letting it automatic stuff work automatically. So it automatically imports it right out of the camera. I don't touch it. I let the system do its own thing. And then once it's inside my computer, I end up going over to it and adding more. I use a lot of keywords.
mm-hmm.
So I will keyword it, and in this particular one, I put green stem, yellow flower, that kind of stuff. So I'm putting that into the keyword system as I go.
So now we've got an individual photo and some of these are different. So we're going to start keywording. Here we might add yellow
And I might add yellow.
or calla lily or whatever. You'd
Yeah,
add
so-
something.
And so now all of those pieces of information are now stored, in an XMP file onto the system. And if I'm looking for a particular the flower catalog, yes, I might have to go to more than one catalog date, but I have not played with any of the file imports. Now, I'm a gentleman who has over 500.
No, wait a minute. You're a gentleman?
I think so. I've imported over 500,000 images,
Mhm.
and I have a huge inventory of photos. And yes, I do search for it, but here's where the absolute.
Well, before you get there, because I'm going to walk, I think it's a good idea to walk through that process.
Okay.
But what I want to do, I want to show one thing real quick. So I did add yellow and calla lily to my keywords in that first photo.
Oh, you're going to sync them. Okay.
And now I hit the first photo and I shifted over to the last calla lily. And I've got these photos are highlighted. Now I can sync that because you only have to add it to one flower. All the things that I want to, if I want to add the same keywords to a whole group, I can batch them by hitting sync and
You can
keywords.
see where the yellow flower comes in. And then you synchronize.
So
Now,
now I go to this last picture in that group and it has yellow and calla lily added. So
now go to
that's,
the next
that's a
one.
that's the first step in really batch processing stuff, but you can batch keywords. Go to this one. Yep.
So now if you look at it, it does not have yellow in it.
Correct. Because it
And
wasn't
that's because
highlighted.
it had not been entered into the system until you enter it, because you've only chosen the ones that had yellow flowers on it.
Right. So now I'm going to do frozen ice flower here.
So if you go to your grid,
Yeah. Well, I can't do it right now, but
oh,
yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
go to your
Okay.
grid.
Yeah.
And select all the flowers that way.
Either way, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
So I've got this selected. I'm holding the shift key, and all of the rest of these are frozen. So now I'm going to sync this, and I'm just going to synchronize. And all of these flowers now should have frozen ice. Well, of course I spelled flowers wrong, but
Where is the SIG key? I didn't see it this time.
sure. I'll show it 1 second. I'll add rows here. 'cause
or
this is
round,
rows.
globe, round ice.
So here's, let me, you know what, I gotta do that though. I'm gonna cancel that. Let's go.
You need to reselect.
I will. I know I was. I just
Oh,
wanted,
okay,
I
okay,
wanted,
I
I'm
wasn't.
gonna hit the first one this way. So here's a red rose, this one right here. And I'm gonna add rows to it. And I'm putting commas in between the words. And I'm gonna enter that. Now, the next 5, and I don't know if I can do this command. I can add command. I'm gonna select all of the ones that are red flowers. And I'm
Thank
gonna,
you.
do you see the sync button here, Phyllis?
Where
At
am
the
I
bottom
looking?
of-
Right or
on
the
the right-
left? Or the
On the
right?
bottom of the right of panel. It's highlighted now.
Okay, I see it now.
And I
Thank
click
you.
on sync and the word rose has been added into the keywords and I'm going to synchronize them. Here's a yellow one. It doesn't have the red in there or the rose in there. And here's, and this one does.
Yep.
And if I
So it's a
wanted,
very, and then when you go to search for something, I use the keywords.
okay, so let's do that. That was, so,
But let's stay on this for a minute because we're
Okay.
titling stuff.
What does
So-
the sync do? The sync applies a set of labels to all selected photographs?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
And it'll do both
excuse me.
in the developer stage as well as the library stage. So go down
Okay.
to the keyword list.
Hold on.
Sure.
I was just going to show it one more time.
Alan, I had one question for you. When you import by date, how do you deal with the scenario where maybe you had 2 entirely different shoots or entirely different subjects on the same date, or do you deal with that after you've imported?
So you could do it 2 ways. You could import twice and do a separation. And so what I do is I add both, let's just say there's 2 scenarios. One was at the library and the other one was at in Boston and at the Common. I put library, common, and then I import all of them all at once because I might have 700 images.
Hmm.
And then what I do is I do exactly what we just did by going and selecting the ones that I just have the library in and delete the word common.
Okay.
And then I would go to the common and delete the word library.
Oh, okay.
I find that quick rather
Yeah.
than importing 2 different sections because I could import
Sure.
just the ones I select as the library and just the ones I select as the common. But when I do them both at the same time, I'm just letting the system go through all of it just trugs it right through. And so I'm not doing it twice. I'm letting the import just happen once. And then this, as you saw how quickly the synchronization works, then I
Well,
would
first
just,
you have to sort them, yeah.
well, yeah, well, I mean, you would, in the library situation, it would be, all of the ones at the library, and then I walked over to the comic.
Right.
you
Let me
know.
just, I just want to show this last one. So this is what I'm synchronizing. I'm adding the yellow and purple flowers in the keyword. And when I hit this synchronize button, I had done it to the first picture, and then I added 3 more pictures, and I clicked the synchronize here, and that adds this, all of the pictures that are selected, the new keyword yellow and purple flowers will be added to those selected images when I hit the synchronize button here. I sync it here.
Johnny, one note here.
Yeah.
See that near to the left of sync button, to the left of sync button. There is a tiny switch.
Yeah, right there.
So I believe if you do that, all your selected pictures will automatically get it.
Good. And I knew that, and it's one of those little things that I'm not in the habit of doing that, especially when I'm in the develop module. Oftentimes, I change it from time so often. I don't think about that, but that was a really good point to bring up. Thank you.
What
What
does
is
that,
that?
what does that button do?
So it changes the sync to auto sync. So I don't want to do it right now, although I could, I suppose. It doesn't hurt.
No,
anything.
because you got two different, you got yellow and.
Yeah, but
flower.
it doesn't matter. It's just showing a point. They'll
Okay.
all have the same. I'm
I
trying to
do
think
auto
of how
sync
I could-
almost always.
Yeah.
It's very
Let's do it
convenient.
let's do it the opposite. Let's do these 4 yellow. Let's do these 4 yellow frozen balls, and let's say I wanted to take a keyword off. Let's do this. Do it this way. Maybe I wanted to take yellow and purple flowers
Well,
off.
turn on the auto sync first, though.
Well, I have to set one of them first anyway.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna select the other 3 pictures, and I'm gonna click auto sync and do it. And see how that came off the first one? I'm gonna take it off the other 3 now. Oh, see, it didn't matter. I thought it was just gonna do it automatically.
Well, you have to. So yes, it does.
Ah, okay,
But it does it from the grid system.
gotcha. Well, I don't know if that mattered so much, but let's say I'll take rows off. Take rows off this time.
But so select.
Okay.
Stop.
Oh, stop. You're right.
Select the 2 of them first.
Select 2 first.
Right. And then
It's already auto sync.
and auto sync automatically came on.
Yep.
And then put comma and then put round ice.
Well, no, we're,
It's a totally different word. So just
all right.
hit round ice.
Oops.
And then
That's all right. I don't care. It's not the point. My spelling isn't the point.
yeah, when I and just the auto sync should do both of them at the same time.
Oh, you select them first and then add them in.
Yes.
So now that's
And
there.
auto sync also
Gotcha.
works very well when you do developing
Right.
and you change something, you edit something on one photo and all others will do the
Oh.
same.
See,
You,
I told
you
you
have
I'm
to be
not the
very
be all end. It's like I knew it, but I never use it. So
Right.
and now I will start to use that.
So
Yeah,
so
and that's
it becomes
But I'm
very,
turning it off right now because I'm afraid of
yeah,
it.
no problem.
Because I don't want to mess up I want to do it intentionally. I don't want to
Yes.
have it there.
Yes,
So you
because
have to select the images first.
correct. That's
Yeah.
why I stay in the grid versus going as a singular image.
And
So
if I take out desktop. Or
I'm
if I
doing
take-
I'm doing all of this, in the grid system, because
Well-
it automatically syncs it.
Joni,
And
Yeah, I have to have.
Johnny?
auto-sync. Yeah.
right, if you look up in your key tags area, see some of them have an asterisk behind, like
Yes.
Calla Lily has an asterisk.
I
behind it.
noticed that.
Okay, that asterisk means that some of the selected images have that keyword, but not all.
All of them.
So a quick way to get the keyword onto all the images that you have selected is simply erase that asterisk, and then that calla lily will appear on every image it's selected. You just go into keywords and delete the asterisk, then every image that
Right
you
there.
have selected would now say calla lily.
And now I have to click auto sync, right?
Right, now every image,
it's-
you look, you don't have to synchronize, it's.
Oh,
it's
you don't have to
automatically
do it.
Doing it.
It's auto sync.
It's auto sync.
Oh, calla lily. Yep.
and
See how
it-
calla lily
it's-
now is
yeah.
on the frozen flowers.
Whether or not you
Well,
have sync on,
You need a single,
yeah,
need a
even if you
s-
don't have the sync on, when you take that asterisk away, it applies that, keyword to everything that's selected.
All right, so flowers, take away, I highlighted everything. I take
Take
away an
autocycle.
asterisk and I hit enter. And
Okay,
I, undo, and now all of this, what did I take off? Flower, right? Just plain flower. It's all gone.
so,
yeah, you
so
took
there
frozen
becomes,
ice flowers, you took the asterisk off frozen ice flowers, I believe.
Very cool. I
It
think it was
becomes-
just flowers.
right, so it becomes a very useful tool. And those things need to be practiced. They need to be done more than once. You need to go over, and once you decide what you want to do, like Joni said, you've got to just continue to use the same way over and over and over again until you decide to change it again. So we're throwing out a lot of information, and it's complex stuff, but it's simple because I think it's very logical. So,
May I add something to what Alan says? I'm not a professional photographer. I'm an amateur guy. I mostly shoot when I travel. And for me, the easiest way to import is not by date, but by the location. Let's say, I don't remember when I was in Italy in 2011 or 13 or 15. So when I import, I create a folder, of course, from within Lightroom. I can show it if you want.
Yeah, that'd be fine if you want to show if it's up.
but the,
Sure,
but the
check it out.
beauty about keywording is you can create a catalog. I mean, a selection of all of your Italy stuff, provided you put the keyword Italy in.
Well, I want to get into that too.
Italy,
That's
Rome.
definitely, Alan, I definitely want to get into that too.
Right.
But
So-
if Leo wants to share, I'll stop sharing. And if Leo, if you want to share,
Sure.
then we can look, because I think that for some people that's very helpful, and I definitely
Yes.
wanted to do that.
You see,
Because
for
that is
instance,
another, that's like almost totally the opposite the way I organize. I understand your system, but other people might feel more comfortable with your system.
This
Yeah,
is
for
kind
me,
of
it's
how I do it too, Joan.
Okay.
For me, it's simpler than what Alan suggested. But what Alan did is mostly for professional. I don't have 500,000 shots. All in all, it's probably about 50 to 60,000. But when I first travel and I wanted to import, I created a folder travel. You can see it on the screen.
Yep.
And then let's say I go to Paris. Let's say Paris.
And you can search too, right? Because
Yeah,
if you close Navigator, you should have a search bar up there. If
Yeah.
your list is so long,
Yeah,
you
but it's not
gotta
very
put
long.
search by Paris, and that folder
Yeah,
will come up.
Paris. And it immediately shows me the dates. Let's say I was in Paris in 2018. And it automatically, I don't create a folder of 2018. Lightroom knows this date and creates a folder, and underneath subfolders. And in those subfolders are the photographs that I did on that day. If I want to see everything that on 2018, I can click on folder 2018. I see all 317 photographs.
Yeah, and
For
if
me-
you open the grid, you can see them all in a grid too.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Where hit that.
Yeah, of course. So for me, it's much more convenient and easier than doing by dates, because I don't remember the dates. But I can easily find Paris or New York or Normandy or whatever it is.
So now you have, how many folders of Paris you have? Many years of Paris. So can you, or maybe you can walk through.
Next time.
Not many. You see, the first one, 1998,
That's
but
right.
it was.
So that's
it
my
was,
point.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
was
my
with
point.
my
So
first wife.
maybe you don't know which year you did what in Paris, and I really want. I mean, there's 2,700 images to find the image you want. But if you keyworded something, pastries,
Oh no, no,
let's say.
I'm not discounting of importance of keywords.
No, I
sales.
wanted, no, but at this point, I wanted Alan to jump in and share how you look for those keywords, because I'm not even really good at that.
Alan, can you?
I shut myself off because I wanted to not butt into, you know, a conversation. So let's do this. Just hit the number 219 or 218. It doesn't matter what.
Okay.
Just pick one.
Okay, 2019 selected.
Okay, so I'm looking at your keywords in this blank.
No,
so
I
we're not
didn't
gonna be
use
able
it. That's what my stupidity, actually ignorance. I didn't
Oh.
use the keywording. Now that I'm listening to what Johnny and you, Alan, said,
So,
I understand critical how critical it is.
Okay,
So see all the
can you
information-
stop, can you stop sharing, Leo? Oh,
Uh-huh.
first, before you stop, does anybody have questions on Leo's system of organization?
I just want to make note that a lot of
Paris.
people have done it the way he's doing it with a slightly different twist.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do it with a slightly different twist too.
So, like I said, there were 500 professional Lightroom people, and they all have different methodology.
All right,
Yeah,
so
of-
I'm gonna ask you to
of course.
stop sharing, Leo.
Mhm.
So far, I seem to have a hybrid between Alan, Leo's, and Joni's.
Ah, that's funny.
But
Well,
I
again,
import
if
by
I
if
had
it
year,
works-
so I've got-
If it works for you, right?
Yeah. Well, I've got
I'm
folders
amateur.
for the year, and then I import by date like Alan. But then within the folders that are by date, I have places like under the year. I'll have places for that year, and then those are imported by date.
And then how much do you have keyworded?
Not nearly enough, but I'm trying to catch up with that in my copious spare time, which isn't really copious.
So,
Right, I switched
Retire.
I just want to tell everybody, I did switch catalogs just now because I have a lot more images in this for us to search on stuff for. Does somebody have a question?
No,
go to your top catalog.
Yeah, I just got
On the left-hand side, go to catalog. No, sorry. Right, yep, catalog.
Yeah.
Now just go to all photos.
Yep.
Okay, and now what I want you to do is I want you to take the text. Let's go to metadata first.
So does everybody see there's a library filter bar up here? We're gonna click on metadata or metadata.
Okay, and just make that bigger, just bring it down. So those are all the dates that she's entered information on the left-hand side.
And now we can start to cull through this.
So go up to camera,
Yep.
You don't really need to know the camera, so go over to the double squiggle. No. Go
The
right
double
next to the
squiggle?
word camera.
Right.
Now pick let's see.
Well, for some people it would be location, to some people.
Okay, but
Maybe all,
they have
maybe
to,
all my 5-star.
yeah, the ratings. And
And within that, how many are 5, how many? Obviously, I
all of
used
them-
to have old systems that.
so just hit the 1 star.
A 1-star, okay.
Yeah. So now all of these photos
Oh,
that
these are
picked,
wicked old.
it doesn't matter.
No, I know.
All of these photos that have been picked, if you scroll down on the, it just scroll down.
Yeah, it's
Every
just-
single one of these photos are a single flag pick. So she's picked all of these. They rated with 1 star. If she had went to 2 stars, these wouldn't be included, but the 1 and 2 stars would be there. Okay, go to 2 stars. You got 3 of them there. I think it looks like 7.
2, 7.
Okay, so now just the ones with 2 stars show up. Now I find that a very powerful tool because I'm picking and choosing, and what I've been doing is flagging and rating, and I use a different rating system than other people do.
Mhm.
Of course,
So if I really like a photo, I immediately hit the 5-star. And then I also use the colors so I can go into the next category and change that to color.
Is that a label?
I think there was a color in there.
Flag rating label.
Or maybe, yeah. So no label. So
The rating is stars, and I think label is colors.
Well, yeah, but I
Yeah.
have colors in here and there's more than 7.
yeah, but you only have it a specific. So
I don't know where the color is.
but you're really doing just the 2-star. Did you put colors?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's it.
So do you have
There
any
we go.
colors there?
There we
There's no
go.
colors.
Yeah, right here.
So pick a color. So those are,
Right.
so now what you've done is you've got all of your whole catalog. You've only picked your 5 stars out, and you've only colored the ones that are red.
Right.
So now what you've done is you've taken the entire catalog, everything in your catalog, and you've dropped it down to
You
just
filtered.
a selected few that have 5 stars and a red label on it. Now you could choose whatever you want for the colors of labels and create whatever you want with them, but I choose it as a selection. And then you could put
Say that again. What do you mean you choose it as a selection?
So there's
Oh, like
there's
where I
only-
pick?
there's
where I-
only 5 stars. So I got pick.
Yeah,
So I picked, so you have one flagged one in this particular group.
right.
You have
Okay.
7 of them that have 7 stars on it, and you
Ah.
have
Yeah.
5 of them that have a red label. So what you've done is you've narrowed down all that information into a specific set of photos. Now, I find that very powerful. And
Yeah,
I'm not even
I
looking,
never think to use it this way. If I'm going to use it at all, I usually go by text, but I know it's possible. I
so
know
wait,
you
wait,
can-
so
you
this
can
is
go
this
by
is the
lens.
this is just the metadata. We
I
didn't
know.
even get into the text one.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you could use, okay, how many photos in 2014, if you wanted to know this, were shot with my 24 to 70? Wherever that is. Right here. In 2014, I shot how many? So how many?
700.
So let me ask,
2788.
Joni, let me ask a question. How
Yeah.
pertinent is that information to you?
Not pertinent. That doesn't help me that much. I'm just
Okay,
saying,
I
you
just, it
can
was just a
sort,
question.
you can sort that stuff.
So one of the methods I use is culling through the metadata. And then another method I use is going to the text.
And the text is only pulling up keywords, right?
Correct. It's only pulling up keyword. Well, no, hit the text,
Okay, text
And,
here, any searchable field.
any searchable feature.
So you could go, it could be a file name, it could be a caption or a title. There's all these things you could be searching and cross over with this that contains like searchable field, let's say keywords to me, contains
all of the information. And let's just hit the word flower.
that's what I was gonna say, flower. And spelling is important in these keywords, people.
And voila, all of your flowers are now in this. And we have, how many flowers do we have picked? The number.
Well, the ones that are keyword, it looks like 679.
So 600, she's labeled 679 with flowers.
I have way more flowers. I wasn't always good at keywording.
So,
And you can search here.
But once you start doing it, it's a super powerful tool, and that's how I use without reorganizing my imports. Because as you saw with Joni's, she could spell it wrong the first time, and what happens if it overwrites something else? Where if it's only coming as a date and the time, I mean, you can even put the time on it. So you put the date and the timestamp on it, and pull that all in as information, you can't overwrite, even though the file name is the same as
You
it
can
might
do
have
the
been.
time in here in the metadata?
No, in import, when you import it.
Oh.
So all that information is sitting there, but you can actually sort by time. So all of it, to me, all of that is a very powerful tool to use in a great number of ways.
What's this attribute? Oh,
So-
that's by how many are flagged, how many are
Right.
starred, how many are colored.
So hit the number 5 star and flagged. Hit flag 5 star. And now all of a sudden, all of the flagged ones and the starred ones that have 5 stars on it came up. That's another way of using the system, using the rating system.
So are they all coming out from different folders then?
Doesn't matter where they come from, because remember with
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yes, they are. It's saying, this is all the photos in your catalog that you have given 5 stars and you have flagged. Either or. It's
That's
taking
both.
everything out of 51,000 images and saying, okay, you have 5,300 of them that are 5-star and flagged.
But you've got a lot of different catalogs, haven't you? I only used one catalog in the Lightroom.
This is my main catalog.
Right,
But my
got-
system has changed over the years, and I did have a catalog get corrupted, and I had to re-import everything, and I actually haven't imported everything. They're all on my hard drives, but stuff from 2007, 2008, I haven't gone back that far yet to re-import them. I don't need, if I need them, I will, but I haven't.
You could also can't search through multiple catalogs. You can only search on one catalog at a time.
Excellent point.
Yeah, so I mean, I only have one catalog because unless I am traveling and I don't feel like taking my external hard drive, but for the
That was
most
my
part,
next
I
point.
take it with me everywhere I go.
If I'm down the
So-
Cape and I'm shooting down there all weekend and I want to do any editing, I will make a catalog. I will bring I will have one hard drive with me, and I will make a catalog on my laptop and call it Falmouth Birds, let's say. And then I'll do my editing and everything. And then I'll bring that hard drive home with me and I'll hook it up to my desktop. And what I'll do is I will file import from another catalog. And like I can now go to the folder that it's in, whatever hard drive it's in. What did we just do? We imported something somewhere. Anyway, I could take, I'm trying to think of something that's not here, but I would take, it would be in the hard drive, and it would be in the folder in the hard drive when I would click that and click choose. And then I would import those.
You have to choose the
I-
catalog, not the folder of images.
No,
Right.
so, right, but I don't have one here. So
Mm.
import from another catalog. My catalog would be, let's say, on this, and I would, on this drive, let's say it says travel drive, external hard drive, I would have Falmouth Bird, I would have a Lightroom icon that will say, like my Lightroom library right now is Lightroom 12. It would say Lightroom .lr Birds of Falmouth or something, whatever I named that catalog. So that catalog would be in a folder on that external hard drive, and that's what I would choose. And when I click on it and click choose, whatever it is, click on the folder that the catalog is in, click choose, then it would import those exactly on the as they are.
Yeah,
All
I
the
pretty
edits
much-
and everything.
Yeah, I pretty much just use my one drive, and I take it with me mostly everywhere. I tried to do a catalog one time, a separate catalog when I was traveling, and put it on a different drive, and it just was too
So
complicated for me.
for a
So
while, Yeah, I did something similar for a while. I always kept my master catalog on an external hard drive. And what I found was my catalog was so big that it was slowing my Lightroom down. And I had called Adobe, why am I so slow, blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, you have a large catalog with a lot of for pictures, and it's on an external drive. It'll run much quicker if it's on an internal drive. So that's why I take an external drive with me down to the Cape if I'm going to go do that and I want to edit down there, and bring the external back here and import from another catalog. I also have to have my hard drive that has my 2022 to 2023 images on it. I still have to have that hard drive with me. So I have to think ahead a little bit. And I don't do it often, but when I do.
Yeah. Well, I think having, I don't want to have all those photos on my internal hard drive because it'll
Well,
just
you
take up my whole
space.
hard drive. So with with Adobe saying, well, your catalog is running slow because it's on an external hard drive, well, that's the way it is because I don't have, 100,000 pictures on my internal hard drive. So I just I leave my catalog on my external hard drive. I don't know, it might be on my internal hard drive to the catalog, but all the images are on my external hard drive.
Right.
And I import to that when I'm traveling or when I'm home or whatever. And I do it pretty much by subject and then date for just the year, not the day, because it just I was doing it by date and it just got to be too long. There were
Well, I
too
see
many,
the benefits both ways now.
yeah.
But again, this is
So
my routine.
It's
I'm going to
exactly,
stick with it.
exactly, whatever works for you.
I just wanted to mention also that if you're doing a search, you can do it in a particular folder. You don't have to do it all photographs.
That's true. So she's right. Alan has do the whole catalog just to have
Yeah.
some more things to
I-
work with. But you're absolutely right. If you just want to, I know it's in 2022. I went back to, where am I? Yeah, I am. I know it's in 2018. So it looks like I don't have any pictures there, but they're all in each folder. This is the base folder in 2018. But we sort of did that when we did the metadata too at some point,
Right.
But now, date. What is this? How come this says 2014 there? That doesn't make sense. Is that the number of images, the 2014 images in the 2018 folder?
Yeah, probably.
I can't read it.
That's probably what it is. You can also make it so that your master folder shows the number of photos in the
Yes, you can. Up in library. I'm going to answer that question for next week, but I don't do it that way, but you're right. See how 2019 says 0? I can. No,
I don't
'cause it's gotta
remember.
be in preference. It's gotta be in preferences. Either catalog settings or preferences.
I forget where I,
Yeah, I know that, and I know.
Just arrow down
So-
on the left. And you'll open up your sub files.
Yeah.
And then just pick a date.
No, that's not what she's saying. She's saying that I could, all of the image, I could have this folder indicate all the images that are in all the subfolders.
Because you put everything in the subfolder. And what I do is I input everything into 2000. What date is that? 2009?
Yeah,
And
but there's
then-
a preference in here.
And then
In
put it into
preferences.
subfolders.
No, what she's saying is that if you go to 2009, it says 0.
Right.
If you hit something, it will tell you
Add all
the
the
total of all of the sub files. So instead of 0, it'll say 32 and 10 is 42 and
Right,
8.
it'll add up all these numbers here.
We'll add them all up.
Some
so
of these have subfolders too, so I'll add all the subfolders, not
Right.
just.
I have that in mind. I don't remember. Can you
Yeah.
can you right click on it? Will that do it?
No, because you want to do, it's a catalog preference.
Mine does it automatically.
Correct, because it's
I
the
have-
preference that you've set up in here,
I
but I don't know where it
never
is. And
set it
I
up,
will,
but-
I will work on that. I will make a note of that.
Joni,
Yeah.
I didn't have the space bar. See where it says sub photos not shown?
No.
Right in the middle of the screen. No
Oh.
photos were selected in the folder. Subfolders not shown. It's right in the middle. Go right. See that?
Yes,
You want to change that.
correct. I don't know where to change it, though. It's a preference up here, I think.
Should you say include subfolders?
That might do it.
Sometimes you said something and you forget where you said it. So
I know, and that's what I'm
Even-
saying.
even-
I will, I'm gonna look into this during the week and get back to you next week.
go,
Can
just
I,
look.
can I,
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna, I have a checkbox on my, in my Lightroom, in my catalog that says could include sub, no, that's in import, never mind.
Right,
Go to a date and
Yeah.
just right click or left click.
I did. But it's not just in one you want to do it for the whole catalog. When you set that preference up, it's, so that would be a folder preference. If it was here, it's not a folder. I want it to be for the whole thing. I'll look it up. I'll look it up offline. We don't have to do that tonight. I'll get an answer for you, I promise.
So can we go back to the keywording just for a quick second?
Yes. We just have to look at this cutie pie because that's my favorite pictures right now.
I
Was
like
the
the
cute-
one where he was crawling away and somebody was chasing him.
Yeah, my husband.
Was
a
a
little
cutie
further
was a
down.
cutie pie 1 year old?
Yeah. My husband must be in one of these chasing him, I think, in the outtakes.
Right there.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
I like that one.
That says the whole shoot, I'll tell you, because at 1 year old, they're moving, man. You gotta take those pictures at 8 months old, I think, before they're moving. Anyway, go ahead, keywords.
That's why you have a baby wrangler.
Yeah. What did you
Okay.
want to go about keywords?
Go to the keyword list. And all of those words are words that you added
Mm-hmm,
at any one given time.
mm-hmm,
So just pick anyone.
mm-hmm.
Go over to the right and double click it.
Oh, right here.
Those are the images that are in what is that, the Adirondacks?
Adirondacks, yeah.
So here's another.
And see, look, I spelled it 2 different ways, right? It must be, I spelled it wrong in
Yeah.
these. So now if I want to correct them, right?
You're gonna have to go to those and correct it with the right spelling.
Yep.
But this is another tool that when you use keywording, you can select all of the images that you actually put a keyword in, and without changing the import that you've done, and just adding keywords, you can do all of the things that you were talking about: refiling, special places, special dates, special times. It all becomes easy to find the images because it's all you have to do is double click it. And these are all photos from the Adirondack. And which way did you spell it? Anyways,
Well, this
it
is the
doesn't
one I
matter.
spelled the right way.
These-
But I'm
these are-
trying to uncheck. How do I I want only those and I want to
So-
uncheck.
So
this.
double
If
click
Joni-
that over to the right, double click it,
Oh,
and now you're selecting all of those that.
But
have
I've
the
got- but they're
marks.
both selected, the ones I spelled right and the ones I spelled wrong. I
Well,
want to,
uncheck it. Just
Oh,
only
there you
check
go.
one.
unless I didn't unless I didn't, yeah, okay. So these, I can all go into these.
So once again, select them all. and then change the word Adirondack to the correct spelling.
How
I
do you
think about
spell
this.
it?
I think I just have an extra.
You
I
have
in
an
there.
extra I in there, that's all.
And now, so that auto sync, what it does is it took them all out of that and they put them in the Adirondack. If you go over, the
Yeah.
Adirondack file, they all got entered into that Adirondack file.
And
And
then
now you
delete.
can just delete the other one, right?
No,
don't
you
need
just
that.
have to do, yeah, you have to just delete that, the keyword.
Ta-da.
And so now what you've done, and this is a good lesson that you just showed everybody, where
Oh, I planned it.
where you selectively had a word spelt wrong,
Mhm.
and yet you could go back and collect all of those words all at once, and then re-edit to the right spelling. And what it'll do is automatically change all of those and put it into the right file naming or
Sort,
keyword. And so this is another piece of the powerful tool. But just pick the one you have 0 or 5, or the one that has 5 or a small amount.
I like the second one in with the blue flower and
Thank you.
it says, I don't know, it has a title.
There's one
Which
that
one?
just
That one, I like that.
Yeah,
one.
that didn't do, I don't, did that already get submitted in Creative? I think I had it last month. I don't think it did well. All right, what do you want me to do? You want me to pick
just
something that had zero?
a small amount of them.
Oh, look at this, birds, be birds. Yeah, a small amount. Okay, baking, 7.
And once again, you got to go over to the right and double click it.
So you can just go ahead and delete the ones that have 0 in them, Joni, because
Yeah,
Well, make sure
I've just never gone through this process before.
make sure that they have that. But this is another way
got 0.
of adding and subtracting words and making sure everything is correct in your file folders.
Why did you want me to pick this?
Oh, so here's one that you just have these particular things, and now you want to add let's see what the keywording. Go up to the keywording and see what the keyword list the keyword said. So it just has what?
Baking and still life.
Okay. Let's select them all and put what's the name of that spinning thing?
Um,
A beater. It's a beater.
beater.
Excellent.
Beater, yeah.
Select them all though. Wait a minute. Select all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and now put the word beater in, comma beater. Oh, but we changed the category. So well, now we can find it in the keyword. Let's go to the word beater. And those 7 have now changed to that particular file. Double click, yep, double click that. And now they're all in this file. So you can actually change where the location is in the keywording. But this is all also baking, and so all these things. So you got baking soda in there. You've got a red bowl. It's a still life. All of those can be added as keywords, and enrich the keywording and enrich the selective sourcing of information that you're trying to find. So as many keywords as you can put in, I recommend it. You can do whatever you want, but I try to import words as I bring them in and do it once, and then go back and re-edit, like add the red bowl, add the beater,
Right.
Add the still life, add the word baking soda.
Yeah, so it takes a little bit of time
It
when you're
does
first
at the
importing, and there'll be times that you'll be so grateful.
But yeah, look how fast we found all of the baking.
Well, and the
items.
other thing is when we come to smart collections, and which is several weeks away, collections and smart collections, it becomes even more important, especially smart collections.
So all of this is like a lot of information for you guys.
But it's taped. You can watch it over and over again.
But it really does help to put all this information into your system. And yes, like I said, when you import, you can put it in the catalog system any way you want. I simply come right out of the camera with the information that's burnt into the photo itself, because it's
Yeah.
sitting in the metadata of the photograph. And, you know, not just taking whatever information that the camera's burnt onto the system and not trying to alter it, and then using the keywording to actually create searchable files for anything you want. It's totally expandable.
So that was a lot of information. So I want to just stop for a moment and see if anybody,
Can I ask a question?
please.
I seem to have too many keywords, and I've got so many that sometimes I'll have to type in the keyword I'm looking for that's no longer in the list. I think the list just got too long. Any comments on that?
So when you're in this particular keywording list,
Yeah,
if you just type in the first letter,
okay. Or you can go type in the whole word at the top of that list too.
what I'm saying is, if you type in the first letter,
Yeah,
it drives it right to where the information is with those particular beginning of the letters. And so you can find them very quickly. And to me, it's a very useful tool.
well, is there a limited number of keywords allowed?
I don't think
if
so.
If somebody told me that their catalog system is a 1,555,000 some odd number of photos from all over the world, and they have keywording that is just beyond belief, I'm going to tell you, no, not at the moment. It does slow the machine down a little bit, but get a bigger machine.
But some of my keywords are lost, and the only way I can find them is to type them in at the top.
Well, then just type them in one at a time and find them.
Yeah, I do.
And then you can find and locate the image. And that's why I go to the all catalog, all the images in the catalog.
Well, wait a second, Sue, are you talking about when you're adding keywords on import? Or are you talking about when
No.
you're searching for images?
When I'm searching for what I have already added on import.
So right now, go up to the
So when
word,
you're going into here and
Yes,
searching for keyword here. Is that what you mean?
I don't see what you're looking at. I see a
Um,
blank screen.
When I'm searching under text.
Yeah,
so go over to the, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, you go over to the text and over to the right, it says keyword and say Cape Cod.
I'm not getting my right-hand column of keywords here for some reason. Something's covering it, I guess.
There's a little arrow on the right-hand side in
Yeah.
the middle. In the middle of that, go down, Joni. Keep going, keep going, keep going down, down,
Oh,
down,
here.
top, right there.
Oh,
You
yeah,
might
you
have
just
that-
hide and show your panel.
That's
Is that
hide
what you
and
mean,
show your
Sue?
panel.
Yeah, the panel's showing, but there's no list on it. I don't know why.
So
Uh,
if you go up to any one of these pieces and right click, and
Yeah.
you may have keyword list unchecked.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
so check that before, and then,
But that's on your computer, doesn't,
well, it should be on yours too.
Yeah, if you right click,
I'm looking
can-
at your screen, right?
what?
I'm looking at your screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what about,
Click on the arrow next to the keywording, the caret will give you the list of the keywords.
so now it's not on my right-hand panel because I just took it off.
Oh, okay.
But if I click in the space next to any of these four things,
Mm-hmm.
all of these options will come up and I have to click on keyword list again.
Or
And now
show
it's
all.
here. So if
Okay.
you see how these are all checked, that means
Yeah.
all of them are in my right-hand panel.
And
But if I
solo.
take metadata out, if I want to bring it back, I
I don't see your keywords right now.
You gotta click on
What
the-
list?
my keyword, it's just not open.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
Because I closed it down.
Ah, that's.
I
what-
have to open this up first. But I shut it down, that's all. I didn't, and I can expand it, and there they are.
Okay, well, that bar at the very top is where I have to type in the keyword
Okay.
I'm looking for because
Okay.
it doesn't appear in my keyword list. And the
Uh,
photo is keyworded. If I click it on there and it'll come up and it'll have the keyword.
But so
if you
if
you
your
misspelled the
keyword,
key,
excuse me, if your keyword list is open, like mine is right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
And you scroll all the way down, I mean, it's all
Yeah.
alphabetical.
I know, but some are missing. But if I type them in at the top, I can find them. So that's why I wondered.
That's interesting.
Okay,
A
this-
limited
Maybe
number of
there's
words.
maybe there's a spelling discrepancy.
yeah,
Or show all.
That's a possibility. I can't spell very well.
Show.
I can
show
spell, I
all.
can't type.
Show all. So there's a show all in the list.
Where's the show all?
It go up to the there, just right click it.
Oh,
Right click here.
Yep. And no, we get the attributes again.
Oh, there's an all. I see.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about up
Well,
here?
So no, right where you were.
Yeah.
And
right.
you can go and just
I've
clear
gone
them.
on all.
You haven't cleared it, I hope. But you can.
Oh, here it is.
No.
Under, next to the Q, there's a little caret. And you click on that down arrow, show all keywords inside and inside matches. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe that's it.
So you got to make sure the radial buttons are correctly done.
labeled.
Like I had clicked on all right here. You obviously there's people, if you have someone's name,
Right.
recognize that, and I don't know what other is, but the all is default, I think.
Well, the
And
ones
then-
that are under keywords under keywords for me appear
Oh.
indented in from the main keyword.
All right, did that help?
And
Hopefully.
that doesn't help. Yeah, I still can't find some of them. Okay, there is not a limited number. That was my question.
There is
I
not a
don't think
limited
so.
number.
Okay, then I'm doing something wrong. Thank you.
Any other
I
questions?
have a comment and a question. The comment is I wanted to amplify what Alan was saying about the power of keywords, because I use keywords, you know, as an engineer in software development. And, you know, you went back to the days of MS-DOS, and you wanted a file name was 8 characters, a period, and a 3-character extension. The 8 characters give you very, very limited space to put any information in. Then Windows came along with longer file names, but the problem with the longer file names is they could get very complicated, very convoluted. Keywords are just such a wonderful way of putting in as much information as you want and then finding them by effectively finding the intersection of a number of sets. Okay, that was my comment. Now my question is, it's obvious how we use stars as ratings. How are people using colors? What are the colors being used for? That's my question.
Well, I mean, for me, I explained, I use them when I color some red, the pictures that I'm gonna do, a panorama, an HDR, or a focus stacking, that I'm going to combine images in some way that way. I mean, you could use red for one and green for one and yellow for one, so that I can know the difference between what's an HDR, what's a focus stacking. I just don't have that many times that I shoot that I'm doing HDR and focus stacking and or panoramas. Are there other people that use color, and how do you use color for your to sort your files, to label your files?
I can chime in if you want me to.
Sure.
So I use all of the flags, the 5 numbers, and all of the colors as a progression. I've also used the colors. So I've done a job where actually it was a photo shoot where there were 12 models, and what I did was that I used a color number combination to classify each individual model, because I might have shot 20 of one girl, 5 of a guy, and then shot 20 of the first girl I did, and then went on to another woman, and then did somebody else, and then did somebody else. And so what I did was I wrote down all the combinations that I wanted to do, and when I was editing, I would just go and select a 5 rating in a blue, which represented Sue,
Right.
a 2 rating and a yellow, and that represented Diane,
Mhm.
and a 1 rating and an orange, and that would do Mark. And so as I was doing my editing, I was labeling the person's name by the color and number combination. And then what I did was I sorted by both the number and the color, and then I banded all of those together and used the system we just did and did a keywording of that person on that particular set of images that all had the rating of blue, or number 2 in the number of blue. And that was one way I did it. The other way I do it is that I'm using the blue as a indicator, as a extension. So it's a 5 rating, but this is going to make me a blue ribbon. This might be a red ribbon. This might be a blue ribbon. And so I might use it that way. Now I switch the colors. Some people say don't do that, but I'm using it in a system where I adapt it to what my needs are.
Right.
I use colors for when I want to know where I've posted them. If I've done something for an assignment for a class, I give it a certain class, I give it one color. If I'm, posting it to Instagram, I'll give it another color, something like that. So I know that I'm not going to duplicate, repost an image that I've already posted. And then I just use star ratings for, if I like, I don't give anything a 1 or a 2 because those are pretty much ones that I want to just delete or never look at. But I'll start with a 3 if I kind of like it and I want to work on it. And then if I like it better, I'll give it a 4. I rarely give anything a 5 because I'm never like totally in love with anything I do. So they
But
hardly
see, for
ever
me,
get
5
5s.
doesn't mean I love it any more than any other picture. It just means I'm done editing it to the best of my ability for now. I'm pretty much
But
done
I
editing.
Yeah, I
It's my
don't do
final.
that because I'm never totally done with it. Like
Yeah,
I'll
sometimes
go
you gotta
back
walk
to it.
away.
Like,
I have to walk away.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
thing, I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I don't remember now. It was about the colors. You said something.
Instagram,
Uh,
Facebook.
Joni,
Yeah.
I use the colors similar to the way you do, Joni, I use red if it's a multiple image, either for a focus stack or a panorama or an HDR. And then once I do the HDR or the stack, the result of that, I give a green flag so that I know the red's made a green.
So what I do is when I've done my focus stack and I've done the editing, then I've give it the 5 and I move that final image because the supporting images, when I go to HDR, like if maybe there's 4 pictures in the HDR that I'm combining or 3 pictures, the final image is the HDR is a separate image. So I edit that, I give it the 5-star and I put it back in my base folder. So then those other files are still there as a supporting, if I want to do something else with it or do it a different way, or they're still there.
And you
And
move
they're
those
supporting.
into your support folder?
Yeah. Okay, so I
was that
think,
was that 4 people in 4 different ways? Or was that 5 people in 5 different ways? So you get to see that you can create whatever way that you want to do it. It just, one of the key things that you need to do is be consistent in your process.
I mean, years ago, this is what I was going to say before, but the years ago when I would give it a 1-star if I wanted to do an HDR or a piano or something like that, I would rate those 1. But then it got to be when I'm sorting them, rated is rated. Well, when I'm sorting them, I shouldn't say that, in this filter on the bottom, I can only do rated. It didn't occur to me to go up to metadata and go by star. I mean, that I just haven't used it often enough, but now I see that, you know, I could go by rating. And so you see that I have, well, it should be, I should have some 1 stars, not in this folder, but anyway, I don't know where these all came from. See, I don't know how to use this stuff. This is what I wanted to do, metadata. There we go. I have some 1 stars in there from years ago, and I've just never gone back and refiled my system because those
Well,
are
let's
pictures.
look
I'm
at the
trying to-
1 stars.
No, the 1 stars are only ones that are, I was gonna do something else with them. It was an
Ah.
old system. It's an old system. It's not what I do now. So, I think we're getting pretty close to 9 o'clock. So I will figure out how to do that show subfolders and get back to the beginning of next week. And next week, we're really gonna, I think the fun stuff is the develop module. And we've got 2 full weeks on that.
This is important though.
Yeah, no.
If you use the system in a way that you're using it as a catalog, and you got to remember, the catalog is not saving the photos into your system. The catalog is being used as a card catalog, just like in the old library systems that most of us know about, that you
Oh, yeah.
open a drawer up and find the word XYZ, and how many books can you find with XYZ? So you really got to be happy the way you do it.
And I think adding to that, you probably ought to, you know, go through and see which system is going to make the most sense, or you think will make the most sense for you, and try out, you know, a few pictures and see how it works. Because like for me, the date system didn't work. So I switched to the subject system and then dates within subject. So, you know, it just, you know, try it out, make a list, even if you have to do it on paper or on the computer, make a note, you know, of an outline, basically, like as if you were going to start writing a term paper, you know, and
Yeah.
make an outline of what you think you might like, and then try it out. And if it doesn't work, try something else, you know, in a small quantity, so you don't drive yourself crazy.
Good point.
Question I had on the catalog location. Does it make sense to have, if you've got multiple external hard drives, does it make sense to just have a catalog located on the hard drive for itself and then open that rather than having multiple catalogs on your internal drive? It seemed like that's what Beth was doing, but I couldn't.
Repeat that question.
No, I only
Sorry.
have one catalog and it's on one drive, and I take it
Oh,
with me
okay.
everywhere I go.
Okay. Alan, do you have multiple catalogs or do you have just one monolithic catalog?
Well, at the moment, I have multiple catalogs because, let me just say, in the words that you know, somebody might be offended. I fucked up. And some of my drives.
Oh, we just lost 3 people.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So some of my drives has the files. I didn't lose any photos because I normally put all of my information in a folder. But when I moved my system, it was at the exact same time that Lightroom decided to upgrade to a major change. And did you see one of the who else showed their catalog system?
Leo.
Oh, Paul.
Leo did.
Oh, Leo, right.
Leo, at the very bottom, since you don't do collections, they give you a bunch of collections that are just posted in there. And so what I did was, I was at a time where I was really busy and I didn't triple check my information, and I just kept on importing. And I was moving files into a new system and new hard drives to a system. So at the moment, I have 15 hard drives. 5 of them are internal, and all the rest of them are separate standalones. So there's a lot of stuff, and I was creating new files. And so what happened was that I ended up losing the place of where these images are in the catalog system in Lightroom. So I created another catalog that I imported every single photograph that I have into a new catalog. So yes, I have
And how
2
long did
catalogs.
that take?
2
Takes a
days,
long
maybe,
time. Yeah.
maybe 2 days at the most. I also have a very fast system. But anyways, I was going to create a new catalog for this demonstration, but I have been really busy with my wife and other things.
I
So
know.
sometimes I get 15 minutes, and you can't do stuff in 15 minutes.
Right.
So I
No, I
didn't create-
appreciate all the feedback and all the help tonight, because there was some things that I wasn't really, it's like I knew them, but I don't use them that often. And same with Beth and Leo, all of you.
I'm in this group because I want somebody to tell me things that I forgot or don't remember or don't know about, because
Just like
people-
even if you knew it sometime, if you don't use it, you don't think about it.
people know more than I do, or they remember more than I do. But I think this has been a very valuable set of information for me. I mean, the very first lesson, I forgot that you could rename the catalogs to whatever you really want to name them.
They're all just Lightroom, huh?
Because I just left it as the original name. And so that was a very,
Eye-opening.
yeah. So, but anyways, I hope everybody learns, everybody goes out and tries this, and make sure that, things that Joni has mentioned, you go back and practice the stuff, because the more you practice, the more you're able to just do it. Editing, I take very little time sometimes editing, but I might work on a photo for an hour. I might not work diligently doing something, but I'm looking for something to do, looking to create. When we get into the developer, she says 2 days. I'm sure she's going to end up spending 5.
If if that happens, that happens.
So, but thank you all.
We're here until we're not, so.
The information is great, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
This is
I
great.
want to ask one question before we end, based on what Alan said about effing up. And the question I want to ask is, if you let's say you effed up a catalog, can you go back to a previous catalog before the F up?
Yep, well, Joni was trying to mention that.
Yep.
So I didn't go into that at all, but Joni mentioned it, that you can go back and recreate. That's why you.
I didn't actually mess up the catalog as much as it got corrupted, and we don't know how. I worked with Adobe, and Adobe is unbelievable. They're so good at taking
depends.
over your computer, and I have had great experience.
It
with them
depends.
taking over my computer and unraveling a mess that I've made. They've done that a couple of times, but with the corrupted catalog, they took my backups and they recreated and it took like 24 hours to import to do it all, but I had to let it go overnight. But yeah, I have to say I call Adobe probably twice a year. Still.
I've called Adobe for many times, simply because.
But the backups were key.
But when I do call Adobe, I ask for somebody who speaks English, and I ask specifically for somebody who speaks American English.
Yeah. Working in a phone system for customer service for 20 years, I'm pretty good at listening to different dialects, so I don't have that issue.
It's not necessarily a dialogue for me.
Well, whatever, I'm just saying.
Frank, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, you have to listen to me.
Just 1 second. Do you have a couple of Gateway business cards that you can spare and throw in my bag?
I'm sorry, a couple of what?
Business cards.
Oh, yeah, I'll put some
I
in your
gave
bag.
I gave away the 3 of them that I had.
Okay,
So
I'll
just
put
throw
a
a couple of them in there.
I'll put a few of them in your bag.
Thanks. Not a whole lot. 'cause I got
No,
my
okay.
own.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I
Hey,
mean,
before we hang up, can we, somebody's named MELPE on the screen here. We don't know who it is. Can you unmute yourself and tell us who you are? Maybe they fell asleep.
I
gone.
don't know.
I asked them to unmute, but
You can unmute them from there, can't you, as a team leader?
That's
Well-
not the point. There is a screen is black there, not gray like we all
Yeah,
have.
so the video is off too. You know, they're
well, yeah, for
they're
sure.
muted and video is off.
It's-
If
It's
you're
more
in
than
the,
that.
if you're in the club and next time, if you give us the name that we would recognize you by, or we're not going to be able to let you in. I don't know who this MELP is.
Yeah, I just clicked the ask to unmute button and
I did too.
no response. Yeah.
So I'm going to offer this to people.
Okay.
Provided I have the time, if you do need somebody to help you directly, we can do a small Zoom together and walk through a simple problem. Not complex ones, but simple ones.
Right, and I actually have done this with 1 or 2 people. If you want me to open up the meeting at 6:30, and I can only do like 1 a week, but if somebody has something specific they want to go over, I'll open up the meeting at 6:30. And you can share if you're prepared and feel comfortable sharing your screen, and I can try to help you as well.
Joni,
Thank you.
can you resend the recording from your first? I never got a chance to relook at it. Did you save it?
I did save it on a hard drive, and there was a couple people that came after the first meeting that joined us, and I have to play with that. I don't know if I can put it in Dropbox and share it, because I did delete it from the Zoom website, but I did save it. I copied it and downloaded it onto another external hard drive. So I'm going to do that with all of mine, because at some point somebody else may say, oh, I wish I knew about that. I wish we could, I don't know. It would be good to save them.
Because I know if you make.
Did you send an email out for last week's?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I better look for it.
I was actually wondering about that. Is there a way we could host those videos on the club website?
I think that'd be too big.
Yeah, we don't have enough.
There is a YouTube channel that the club has.
We do
Oh,
have
we
a
put 'em up
YouTube
there?
channel because
No,
I
I don't,
haven't been able to
it's not
find it.
current. It's not current, Fred, if we do have one.
It
It's
was
really-
before our time. I think Alan
you went-
must have set it up in the past, or somebody.
No, I did see it when we were looking for, doing that stuff last year or 2 years ago, whatever. And it was way, way, way long ago. I mean, I tried to set up a new one, but I didn't get much interest in it, and I gave up on it, but.
I'll check
I was
with
looking-
Charlene to see if we can do something on that, because people have asked if there was a way that we can.
I see a
post our
video up
meeting
here
recordings.
of Stephen Rossler, Gateway Camera Club 8 years ago. So
Yeah,
that's
That's up there
Manish
because-
Mantani, Rossler. There are a few videos up here tagged with that. That's
Yeah.
not a bad
Probably-
idea.
Yeah, we could put these up. We considered putting up presenters, and it was, some presenters don't want to be up there, and
Right.
for privacy and all this
Well,
other stuff.
YouTube has an ability, or you can set things up as private videos where only people who get an invite link can watch the video. The
Right.
problem is you're limited
Right.
to 50 invites. And so
Yeah.
if you've got a club of 200 people, now, 75% of the club can't watch the videos that you've collected. I was looking at other video hosting sites like Vimeo and a few others, but they all have some kind of price attached to them.
Right.
None of them are free, and so I don't know what the club's budget is, or if people would want to, help chip in for something like
Perfect
that.
opportunity. Paul, get on the management team.
All right, folks, with that, I'm gonna head out. This is my bedtime.
All righty.
Hey, Mickey,
Thanks a
good
lot,
seeing you,
Joni.
Mick.
Thank you, Joni.
Good night.
All right,
Good
bye.
night.
And
Night.
no
Thank you,
meeting
bye.
tomorrow night. No meeting tomorrow night, guys.
Oh, no. no.
Right.
Thanks,
All right.
Joni, and
All
let
right,
me
thank-
know if
Thanks,
you can
Joni.
put last time, unless
I
you.
will. I'll work on that.
Thank you. Good
Okay.
night.
Bye.
Good night.
Right.
Nice.